Talk about what we talk. We are back with the Big Game Podcast. I got my man Daniel Horton with me. I am Chris Hunter. What's good, Daniel? How you doing today, bro?
Doing good, man. How about yourself?
Hey, doing wonderful, man. Couldn't be better, man. We back after a big Big Ten tournament, man. Michigan wins the Big Ten tournament in resounding fashion. I think shocked a lot of people, right? With the way they played the last half of the season in the Big Ten, but really got some things going. So what was your thoughts, man, watching this tournament, seeing the turnaround, and how this team was able to be a team now they can put a banner up in Chrysler this year?
Yeah, no, that was a great bounce back, right, for a segment, right, from the previous 3, 4, 5, 6 game segment. Really, like you said, the last month or two of the season where they've been playing up and down basketball. I think they got back to a lot of the things that they had done well previously, early in the season, in this Big Ten tournament, right, against Purdue. They were able to get back to some of their pace. The next game as well, they were able to get back to some of their pace and space things and, play fast, get back to their 4-5 ball screen, do a lot of things that they were able to execute, a lot of things that they were able to execute earlier in the season. And they were able to have. So they also played better, locked in defensively. And embrace the physical aspects of the game, right? That's one thing we talked about leading into it. They would have to do that to give themselves a chance to win, and they did that, right? You can see, the guys came into the game I think Pippen missed the whole tournament with a concussion. Danny Wolf had his eye had a shiner on his eye leading into the first game.
They had some tough physical practices leading into that, and that's probably the reset that they needed, right? Like, that's the reset you need because they've shown themselves to be a good team throughout the season. And the last half of it wasn't an indicator of what type of team they had been all year. So sometimes you just need that reset, man. Whatever it is, those guards stepped up in a major way, I think, across the board with Trey Donaldson leading the way and Amari Burnett and even Roddy Gale really contributing in a variety of ways. So, for me, man, it was good to see these guys be able to kind of just bounce back a little bit. And it didn't take a lot, like we talked about. It took that defensive intensity, that effort on that end and locking in on that end. You saw that a lot with the way they played defense, the way they executed their philosophy and switching and really being up and into the ball and being connected in that way. And then you get some stuff to fall your way. You get a last-second bucket against Maryland. You get some shots to fall your way. And you come out of there with a victory. So, I mean, they needed that to happen.
Yeah. Normally when you lock in on defense, your offense improves, right? You're able to get out and run and get in transition. So now they definitely made some improvements. It was a gutsy reset. Like, I don't know if I would have risked injury this late in the season with those type of practices. Normally you want to do those things in August through October leading up to the first game. That way that's your demeanor from the start, right? But whenever it was a gutsy roll of the dice and it paid off on.
Yeah. And sometimes as a coach, you just gotta make that choice, right? You gotta live, you gotta roll the dice and live with the results of that. And I think the way the season was going, something had to change drastically in those, either in the way they approached it or the mindset or something they actually did in practice. And I think that's something that Dusty alluded to. Like, hey, sometimes you got to look and see, hey, man, let me look at our practice plans for the past 3 weeks to see what type of content we had in there. And sometimes you just got to change that drastically to give another stimulus for these guys to get better, man. But, I mean, it was a great way to see it, man. And we can look at a few of these just this last Wisconsin game on just some of these highlights on how these guys competed. And, the effort was there. The intensity, I thought, was there. This game wasn't the prettiest of games as far as the shooting. Like you like to say a lot, they chipped a lot of paint off of it, but all year, Michigan has just been able to pull through a lot of these close games with all of the veterans they have and the guys that they have on the team are fillers and tend to make just plays down the stretch that help this team win.
Yeah. No, you watch some of these plays, man. It's just guys like we always talk about. Don't tell me you want to win. Show me you want to win, right? And these guys made a lot of those types of plays where I got to give multiple efforts. I have to challenge the shot and then block out. I have to be the first one to the floor, right? They made all of those plays that, like right here, Namari got bumped down, and the guy Danny rotated out to get a hand up, right? And he still made a tough shot, but those guys were connected in the way, Danny sees his teammate go down. And he steps out to help him and challenge the shot. So it was a lot better, like you said, connectivity and a lot of more play with more force, right?
Play with more force, yeah, all the way around, and that leads to good things. When you play with more force and you're more aggressive, that leads to great things on both sides of the floor. And you saw that progression from everybody. Like you saw the step in three from Reuben Jones earlier. You saw LJ Kaysen had a great stretch in this game and making plays, and everybody contributed in a way that was really, really crucial for Michigan to win these games. And Vlad has been the anchor of this team all year, man. His presence down low, just finishing and being a force, both offensively and defensively, has been something that's been really impressive. And everybody got a chance to be a part of this. Danny Wolf, had some rough shooting games, but was able to get down and make plays for himself and others. And you saw the passion and the fire come back from these guys in this game. And that's what you need around tournament time. It's a 1-game season. So you got to have that intensity, and they showed it. And the biggest guy who probably made the biggest impact, and we'll talk more about him, is Trey Donaldson, man. Like, he really stepped up in every aspect of his game. And the first thing I noticed from him was defensively. I thought he was just much more engaged defensively, that led to a lot of great things happen for him offensively. And that was one of the plays that, sealed the game for Michigan. And, hey, Dusty May, man, in his first year, gets a chance to raise a banner, put a banner up in Chrysler, man. This is a great thing to see from these guys. And, I'm happy for this team, for this program, especially when you talk about the guys who stayed. Those who stay will be champions. When you're talking about the Namari Burnett's, the Will Cheddars, our walk-ons on the bench, and Ian Burns and Jace Howard, and all of those guys on there, man. I'm very, very happy for those guys, as well as everybody who came to the program this year, and those coaches have done an excellent job.
Is this the second Michigan coach in a row to win the Big Ten? Didn't Juwan win it his first year too?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't win it the first year. We won it the second season.
Second season, okay. Yeah, it's another Michigan coach with some early success, right? So we got to see how they're able to continue it moving forward.
Got to build on.
That's good to see. Yeah, it's good to see. Kudos to Dusty and staff, man. That's a big time achievement.
Yeah, for sure, man. And let's go ahead segue. Now that we got that out the way with that Big Ten tournament, I think that was great for everybody. And let's segue into the NCAA tournament, right? And
sure.
It's a big thing. It's a special thing when you can win a tournament, especially in the Big Ten, on that Sunday, and you kind of go directly into your selection show process. You got a little room set up for you. You got food with the TVs on, the live stream, and you go right in there and you can see your seating. And Michigan is a 5 seed. What's your thoughts on their seeding first before we get into this Michigan UC San Diego preview?
I think the seeding is a bit weird, right? I can understand why they gave Michigan a 5 seed based on their finish to the regular season.
Yeah.
Right. But you could tell they kind of had their minds made up about what they wanted to do with certain teams going into their conference tournaments, because there's no way Wisconsin should be a 3 seed and we're a 5 seed. Not only did we beat them in the Big Ten championship game, we also had a pretty convincing win in Madison early this year. So it's weird, as far as where the Big Ten teams are seeded, and as far as who they chose to be the last 4 in. You got guys like teams like Texas and North Carolina. I think Ohio State and Indiana's resumes match up favorably compared to theirs, right?
Yeah, they match up pretty well with theirs.
Right, but I don't know. I guess the committee didn't value the Big Ten as much as guys like us who watch it on a nightly basis, uh, like as much as we do. So you get kind of weird decisions. Not only are we a 5 seed, but we're in the number 1 overall seeds region, and
Yeah,
we're matched up with probably the toughest 12 seed in the conference. I mean, in the tournament. So
yeah,
it's gonna be, man. It's a bit disappointing, but these guys have fought and they faced adversity all year. And then, like I said, I don't know if I'll pick anybody going against these guys. If it's a 1 or 2 possession game, I'm definitely picking Michigan.
yeah. They've been in a whole lot of those this year, and they found a way to win those. And right now, you can't say it's a fluke. You know, it's a
Nah,
pattern of those guys winning it.
yeah,
But I agree with you, man. I think the committee kind of did their work early and kind of had it set, and then like, oh man, they actually won the tournament and
yeah,
didn't. And before they submitted their revision to the bracket, they just went with what they already had going. Because it's like you said, there's no way you look at that and you say, hey, Wisconsin a 3 seed. Like it's no way you look at that and can justify that being the case
hmm
if you can take in consideration the Big Ten tournament and what happened in that tournament. So,
and their
um,
schedule compared to the
yeah,
other top teams in the Big Ten, right? Was everybody pretty much understands that Wisconsin had an easier Big Ten schedule compared to Michigan, Michigan State, Purdue,
yeah, yeah,
Maryland. So, like, how much research and how much homework is the committee really doing, right?
yeah. They're
So,
looking at the net, and Purdue was a 4 seed, so at least you should be able, be above Purdue. You finish better than them in the Big Ten. You beat
you
them
went 2 and
twice,
1 against Purdue.
2-1. So it's like, okay, what are we doing here with some of this seeding? But
Hey,
hey,
I'm telling you, when let's start listening to Net and whoever Ken Palm is,
hey,
that's
man,
the type of results you get.
instead of using your eye test on that. But hey, in
Exactly.
the tournament, you're gonna have to play good teams anywhere you go. I think it's some storylines in their bracket as well. When you look at Auburn and Yale as potential opponents with some get back from maybe Trey Donaldson and Danny Wolf in both of those matchups if that comes to fruition. But
Mm,
UC San Diego is a good team, man, and Michigan is going to have to come out there and really be ready to play at all levels and all phases
mhm.
because they are well coached. They got players that can really, really hurt you, and they're going to present some matchup issues and problems for Michigan that they're going to have to deal with.
Yeah, not for sure. They definitely play a very fast-paced, open style of offense is what you'll see from a lot of the it's really the same offense you'll see from a lot of the NBA teams as far as the higher scoring teams, the Bucks, the Rockets, the Oklahoma City Thunder, uh in college, Auburn, Kentucky, right there. When you look at you see San Diego's percentages as far as where they're ranked compared to other teams around the country. They're in the 98th and 99th percentile in a lot of key offensive categories, right? And I think for Michigan, the job is going to come up. The task at hand this week is this first game is going to come out and establish your dominance in the paint, right? Because if you don't establish it, that's where we have the advantage against with our 2 big boys. But if we get caught and let UC San Diego dictate the pace and the tempo of the game, and they're hitting you with all of these different ball screen angles and back cuts and
Mm-hmm.
open threes, it can become a long night for us. So I think the challenge is for us to continue the the focus and the intensity and the physicality that we've played with on defense the last 3 games,
100%.
right?
Yep.
And continue that and kind of knock UC San Diego off some of their pass and some of their the patterns and combinations they like to put together on offense. It's very their triggers and their keys are kind of similar to some of the stuff Michigan does. So
Yeah, I mean, it's as far as stylistically, it should be an intriguing game because, like you said, they like to play with pace and space.
mhm,
They typically got 4 guys out there who can shoot the three. Their top player, Aniwa Tate Jones, is a more of a driver and getting to the
mhm,
rim and creating that way. So they kind of do a 4-around-1, but it's more so with him driving the ball. On defense, they like to switch a lot of things like Michigan does, so they get into different matchups because mostly all of their guys out there between about 6'4", 6'7",
6
six
yeah,
eight.
yeah.
So it's going to be an interesting thing to see how they match up. I think the one thing once we get into these clips and we go through their personnel is, how Vlad Golden is going to be used defensively.
Mhm.
Because I think they, especially with their starting unit, their big fella Norton Capich is a shooter, man. He can stretch the floor. He can make shots. He can drive a little bit. So can we keep Vlad Golden in the drop coverage, or when we play our
Mhm.
zone, is he going to stay locked and loaded in and around that charge circle? So it's going to be an interesting kind of chess match to see how they match up and how we can take advantage of that. But like you said, our advantage is our size.
Yeah.
Size matters in this case, and we have to be dominant there because I don't think UC San Diego can keep up with us down low with either Golden or Wolf. And
Right.
this is one of those games where Danny Wolf
He's got to
has
play
to get his
closer to the
butt down in
basket.
there. Play a little closer to the back. Take advantage of your matchups because you're going to have 6'5", 6'6", 6'7" guys switching on you.
Mhm.
So you should be able to take advantage of that mid post, make plays for yourself and others, and not be a guy who floats around the perimeter consistently in this game. So it's going to be good to see, man. So let's get into our personnel. Personnel. And the first guy who's the head of the snake for UC San Diego, you go ahead and say his name again, man. What is it? Aniwa Niwa?
Niwa Tate
There you
Jones,
go.
right?
You got it.
Very, very unique player, right? He's not gonna shoot very many threes. He's not gonna, man. He doesn't have the greatest handle, but he gets to his spots. He plays a little bit of bully ball. He's not gonna make a whole lot of moves, but you'll see. We'll get into it, man. He's a very unique player, right? Catch
Yeah.
that deep outlet right here, stampeding the catch, shoulders towards half court, right? Little drag screen by one of the guards. That's why I say their offenses, they run the five out concepts, right? Where it's positionless almost. That's a guard setting the drag screen right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Guard sets the drag screen, allows him to get downhill, good patience, finishes at the rim, right?
Yeah. And what you'll see is probably Michigan switching a lot of that stuff like they always do. But now, if you get a little guy on him, you get a Trey Donaldson, you get somebody else on him. Can we keep him out the paint? Can we make his shots tough and contested?
Can we keep him off the glass, right? He's a tough player, right? This is a bigger kid right here trying to block him out 24, right? He just whips his butt, gets the rebound over two people, and finishes.
Yeah, so he's the Big West Player of the Year for a reason, man. Averaging
Yeah,
20 and almost 6 rebounds and 4 assists a game. He's been playing very well. And like I said, the head of the snake for them. And they got a lot of guys who can do a lot of things out there, shooting the ball and playmaking. Very good team.
right. Blocks a shot from behind right here,
Give me that.
stampeding the catch, downhill, bully a little bit of bully ball, step through, finish at the rim, and that's a bigger player,
Yeah.
right? Not quite as big of a guy as he's gonna. That's the question, right? Is he gonna be able to do that stuff against Danny Wolf and Vlad Golden in the paint against 2 7-footers?
Yeah. And that's always the questions you ask when you're talking about some of the mid-major programs going up to the high major. That's the separator, right? You got guys who can
Mhm.
dribble, pass, and shoot at all levels, but that size, height, and athleticism sometimes is what separates. So we'll see if he's able to do it. Like I say, he's not a guy who's overly athletic, overly quick, overly wiggly with his dribble, but he gets to his spots. He uses his physicality, and he can score with both hands.
Yep, right here. Nothing fancy, right? Just straight through a guy, straight through him. Finishes at the rim.
Aniwa Niwa.
I don't know how much of that he'll be able to do against Reuben Jones and the guys he'll probably see.
And Roddy Gale. We got
Roddy
guys who
Gale,
are strong, tough defenders. And then you got, help side with 7-footers coming over and challenging as well. So that's
right?
going to be the unique matchup.
Little pin down into an isolation at the elbow. He catches. No, nothing special. He doesn't even make a move until he gets to the spin move, right?
Yeah.
Just downhill. Those guys can be tough to guard too.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys are tough to guard as well, right? Now we'll get to some stuff. I think is this Tyler McGuy.
Ty McGuy. It looks like McGee, but he's Ty McGuy.
No,
Tyler McGuy.
this is still Newa.
Oh, this is okay.
He's gonna get out in transition, and he's a little more athletic than you think he is, right? Finishes above the rim. That's a Chris Hunter chin up.
Little chin up, man. Make you look a little bit more athletic. Like you jumped a little higher than you did when you do the chin up. That's the purpose of that chin up.
And right here, right? You nice find right here. If it's any one of those other guys, you want to be there on the catch. But for him, you short closeouts, right? But you don't want to dare him to shoot. He's only made 15 threes all year. So, but if you dare him to shoot it, he'll shoot it.
Hey, he got almost the old. You run that back to old Paul Arizin. I'm gonna take the people way back to Paul Arizin jump shot where he take his guide hand off the ball very very early.
They don't
almost a one-handed push shot. He got the shout out to look. He take his hand off real early. The one-handed push look like Paul Arizin out there. To all of you old heads, gotta love it.
All right, pushing the transition. This is Tyler McGuy, big time shooter. Right, most of his makes are threes. Right, just pulls up in transition on the double drag. Doesn't even use the screen.
Definitely unconscious shooter, right? I've watched few games of these guys, and he shoots it from all different areas, contested, uncontested. He can guy that can make shots.
Hasn't shot it as well the last 3 or 4 games, 5 games. We don't want to be the team that he gets it going against, right? He doesn't even bring that ball down. That ball just like Damari's been doing all year, shooting off his forehead.
Catch it high, keep it high. Unconscious shooter, really good clean stroke, and he can get going.
Grabs the board, pushes, relocates. Smooth stroke.
And if you see all these clips, man, these guys got good spacing on all. They're a very, very well coached team, well schooled, and they got good spacing on all of the stuff that they do. And that's what makes them a tough guard because they got great spacing and guys who can shoot the ball from 4 levels.
We run this play right here with my AAU team. A little delay action right here in the 5 out. He's supposed to reverse it and get this shuffle cut here, right? Shuffle cut into a pin down, but they don't get it, so he just go right to the ball screen with a Niwa. Post up, finds a shooter in the opposite corner. Bucket. So some of these clips are a little longer just to show you guys some of the things that they're going to do offensively. Right? Just drag screen. Right? So they're playing out of flow and triggers right now, similar to what we do. Theirs just might be a little different than ours. Right? Floor stays space. Back to the trigger. Niwa is the guy that's going to make most of the stuff happen, but we get him right here in the post. You get Tyler McGuy right here in the mid post. He's not trying to drive it. He wants to jab, create space, and I don't think he jabbed that time. Right? It's right over the top.
Fearless shooter, man.
Now this is a guy we're gonna have to pay attention to. Once we get to Hayden Gray, especially if we play any zone against these guys. He's definitely a guy that tries to find the open spot in the zone, and he's another big time shooter.
Yeah, really good guard, Hayden Gray, really good guy who takes care of the ball and just makes really solid and heady plays. When I watch the game, he seemed like he's always in the right spot, doing the right things, and can take and make shots. Can be a pest in passing lanes as well on defense. So we got to be aware of him.
Yeah, it's going to be a different type of matchup for Trey Donaldson, right? Some of these point guard matchups he's had these last couple of weeks, especially against Braden Smith, Blackwell, those guys, they can shoot it, but they're not guys that you really you fear them from. But like this kid here can really shoot the ball, man.
Yeah, he can shoot the ball. So you can't fall asleep. Nope. You can't overhelp like he did right here. he can really hurt you because he can make shots from a couple steps outside of that college 3-point line.
Like when they get across half court, he's not playing like a true point guard anymore, right? Once they get across, they all become a threat. They all become uh scoring guards almost, and they're all scoring guards and playmakers. He's able to get downhill right there on that action, right on the ball screen. Actually, is able to turn the corner and get downhill.
Yeah, he got a little miscommunication, a little late to the on the switch on the other side, and he's able to get an angle. And he patience, man, like a good job of setting up the ball screen, waiting for it, being patient, and just coming off and executing. So you're not going to see a lot of wiggle and crossovers and step backs, but these guys just execute their actions well and make great reads. And like I said, everybody can dribble, pass, and shoot, and you usually got 4 shooters out there at any given time on this team.
And just to stop it right here, this is what we'll kind of see. So this was the Big West Championship game. UC Irvine played pretty much exclusively played zone this game against. I can't remember the last time I saw a college game where the team, and I don't know if that's what UC Irvine normally does, or they were fearful of playing man-to-man versus San Diego after having played them twice during the regular season, right? So I don't know. But like I said, we talked about the use of Vlad Golden on a man-to-man and his zone. He's going to have to be extremely active and alert because they space the floor no matter what defense you're playing.
Yeah.
So
and their zone, go ahead. You see Irvine's zone was a little bit similar to what we do. I think they tried to like deny Magai or the best 3-point shooter and really kind of play him man to man or whoever that guy was up top and had those 3 guys on kind of like a diamond in one type of zone with another guy denying. So it looks a little similar to the way Michigan has played it with kind of like 4 out and one big guy in the middle. So this is definitely some good film to kind of get some ideas on if Dusty wants to play his zone, how he can go and attack these guys and how they will attack. And his team is patient, man. Like that's the one thing you watch about them. They don't rush it. They're patient and they create the shots. Yeah, spacing is great, and they create the shots that they want to take. You know, it's hard to kind of speed these guys up and make them take poor shots or poor decisions. They're really patient.
Like they've made one pass, an inbounds pass, and another pass, I think, and they've already compromised the defense to where they have a 2-on-1 on the backside just because of their spacing. Because this guy here
doesn't come out the paint.
Yeah, he doesn't come out the paint. So now you get a job. Now Gray is able to get downhill. He had the pitch to the corner, the extra pass to the corner, or like you said, ball fake, get downhill, finish at the rim. All right, that's just all spacing. He didn't even use the screen. So it's gonna be a tough challenge for us. I think this is kind of different from what we've seen a little bit in the Big Ten as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is so now we get into some Norton Capers clips. This is like I said, I'm glad we segued into the Capers clips with that zone because he's gonna stretch the floor. Right, good block right there. Not really worried about him finishing over the top of our bigs too much. But once again, Vlad's gonna have to step out the paint, or we're gonna have a lot of 2-on-1s.
Definitely a stretch big,
versus their offense.
Stretch big, stretch forward. So whether we're playing zone or man, he's the person you got to get to on the perimeter. So if we're in our drop coverage, if we're switching, and somebody else gets matched up on him, or Vlad is on him, he's going to have to be a little bit more up and engaged because that guy can shoot that ball.
Yep, here it is, ball screen, and they're kind of a drop coverage similar to what we do. Right, this guy, I don't know where he's got to find your man, big fella.
And closing out to his waist. I don't know what. I'm sure coach didn't teach that. Closing out to his waist because he can hurt you. Norton Capich.
Right.
Number
so
24.
Here you got they keep that big fella in the middle again. This time he's matched up against guard slash wing slash forward, he's able to attack him off the dribble, off his brush screen. And once again, Cape is just here as the 5 in this 5-out system. Short
Yeah.
closeout. He's gonna shoot it.
And that was a really big play. I think when I was watching the game, that was after an ATO. And their coach really drew up a great play out of the ATO. But like you said, again, that's Capich taking advantage of his ability to stretch the floor and shoot it. So you got to get to him.
If this guy doesn't help at all, he's going to get to the rim for a layup off this great screen right here by Mangai. I used to love that screen as a point guard, getting up under the big man, getting up under his rib cage, getting up under his armpit right there. Watch this, Chris. That's how I used to do you in practice.
No, I don't think so. I don't
get up under that armpit.
I don't remember that.
You might get elbowed in the face if you ain't careful. But if you get up in that rib cage, that armpit, I know I'm gonna screen you real good, big fella.
Yeah, no, I mean it's a great action, man. That's great action, and Michigan is gonna have to be ready for all of those type of things because they, their coach runs good stuff and they got guys who can hurt you.
Yes, sir. But that's it for personnel.
That's it for the personnel, man. So what? I mean, looking at this game, and this is like the upset alert of the, like, everybody has this game picked as something that, that 5-12 matchup, and everybody kind of has this game highlighted as the one that could be an upset, given of how good a team UC San Diego is. And so what are your thoughts on this, man? It's like, is this the upset? Is this
man,
the
so when it first dropped when it first came out, I was like, not, because I'd rather us play somebody like Colorado State or somebody like that. Yeah. They're a good team as well, right? But the more I sit back and I watch film and I think about how Michigan wants to play defense as far as switching everything, if they bring the physicality and the intensity on defense that they've played with the last couple of weeks, they can kind of force UC San Diego into a lot of one-on-one basketball. Yeah, and that's to our benefit.
Yes.
So I think the more and more I analyze this matchup, I don't think it's as much of a chance for an upset as the prognosticators are getting. Now, is there a chance for an upset? For sure. You still got to go out there and play well and execute right. But I don't think it's, after a couple of days of watching film, I'm not as worried about this game as I was when the matchup was first announced.
Yeah, they present some challenges, but this is probably one of them situations, because everybody thinks this is the upset, it won't be the upset.
Right.
Everybody's picking this one, so it won't be this game. But like you said, watching the film and looking at them, they're a tough cover. But I think what Michigan does, and if they can execute well, and the advantages they have inside, I don't think that San Diego is going to be able to compete with that if we execute the way we need to execute and play with some defensive intensity. Because like you said, the switching takes a lot of those triggers away from their offense, and now it comes down, can I break a guy down? Can I drive and make a play, contested twos, and get to the rim and finish against 2 7-footers? I don't see that being the recipe for San Diego to win this game. And if Michigan can find a way to take care of the basketball to a decent level,
yeah.
If their perimeter players can take and make shots, and if Trey Donaldson can be the Trey Donaldson we got in the Big Ten tournament, then Michigan is, in my opinion, a lock to win this game.
Yeah. I think if we're able to, I think my game plan with it is obviously be to establish Vlad against the 6'7" guy, right? He's 6'7". Then if you get him in foul trouble early, picks up a foul or two early, that completely changes what they want to do on offense as well. For sure, right? The guys they bring in behind him, he's not as good. He's not as good a shooter, or he's not going to stretch the floor either. So I think that's if we're able to establish the post early and get him in foul trouble, that'll completely change the game for them. So that would be one of my early focuses if I was coaching Michigan.
Early focuses, man, for sure. Get that ball inside, try to get some early fouls, establish that that pace and that paint presence early. Because in Colorado, man, the first 4 minutes you're gonna be
lungs on fire.
Like that mile high stuff is real, man. Like it takes to that, maybe that first TV timeout for you to get that second wind, and you like, now I'm in the game, because that that altitude is nothing to play with. But looking
that's
at this
the great
game,
thing about it. Both teams got to deal with it.
both teams got to deal with it, right? So, so with Michigan, you got to establish that paint presence. Hopefully, get a couple early fouls on those guys and get their backups into the game, and then go from there. But I like the matchup.
Hey, I remember playing in the D League, man. We played at I played in Albuquerque. To tell this quick story, I played in Albuquerque in the D League, and that's a high altitude city as well. Like when teams came to play us, they struggled with the altitude in Albuquerque. And so I remember we traveled to play the Colorado 14ers.
Yeah.
And playing in that altitude up there, man. I'm talking about we looked around after the first 3-4 minutes of the game. If it's 10 players on the floor, 7 of the 10 guys on the floor, all their lips was white. I was looking around like, man, it's a bunch of zombies.
Hey, it's real, man. That altitude gets you. Like them first couple times up the court, it's like you gasping and trying to find it. So it's definitely for them going out there a couple days early, get that win. It helps a little bit. Yeah. But it's still different when that game NCAA tournament intensity ramps up in those first 4 minutes, man. It's like you said, it's crazy. You might be a zombie out there. You might get a couple early subs just to get guys that early blow. Get Vlad in and out early. Get him that early blow so he's not huffing and puffing up and down the court. But
we knew
I'm excited about it.
Wins. We knew we had a couple extra wins in our belt because of the altitude in Albuquerque.
Yeah, no, it definitely is a factor. It's a factor, but the Michigan Wolverines, man, against the UC San Diego, what is it called? The Tritons? Yeah, the Tritons first year being eligible to get into the NCAA tournament, and they did. This is going to be a huge matchup, man. You're going to stay up real late. What is that, Thursday night at 10 Eastern?
Yeah, I'll be up.
Be up late watching that one, man. Michigan is on high upset alert from everybody else, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to move on this one, man. I think they're in a really good place, and if they come in with the intensity and focus, should be a good game, man.
Yeah.
What's your prediction for the score, man? Give me a prediction.
I got Michigan 82-70.
82-70. Ooh, double-digit victory. I like that. I got Michigan 78. UC San Diego 70. 78-70.
Yes, sir.
Got you, man.
We're 3.5 point favorites.
3.5.
Yeah, nah.
It might have shifted. I think I looked at it this morning. It was 2.5. So it's getting closer. Maybe Vegas knows something we don't know, man.
They got somebody breaking down the tape in Vegas, I see.
They know something we don't know, man. But hey, another great show, man. Until next time, this is the Big Gang Podcast with my man Daniel Horton. I'm Chris Hunter. See you guys after we get this dub against UC San Diego. Peace.
Peace.